Hello there, this is the AnYPony, and today I want to talk about another fanfiction I came along, Memory Pending by Skijaramaz. According to FimFiction, it is a romance/sad story/comedy/adventure. And with over 100,000 words, it is one of the, kind of longer ones. I mean, I believe we have some fictions which are about 1,000,000 words long, and I usually call a fanfiction a long one with at least 200,000 words. But it is definitively also not a one-shot which is only 20 to 30,000 words long, so it is a longer fiction and you will probably not read it in one sitting. At least most of the people can't. But before I go into the story itself, I want to give a short disclaimer. I had a problem with the humor of the story. You can probably not get any more subjective than the taste in humor, so therefore this is not a statement about the quality of the story. The thing is, it is very slapsticky. The main character gets beaten up all the time, but it's not in the usual sense of slapstick that you can be hit by an anvil and in the next scene you are fine. No, he actually carries all his injuries with him. He gets beaten up more and more, and it is completely undeserved. He really just has kind of bad karma. The way it is written and the thoughts he has right before he gets knocked out once again indicate that this is supposed to be humorous. Even so, I like slapstick and I have a lot of schadenfreude usually. I really couldn't laugh about it, my personal thing. If you are kind of similar in this way, this story might not be so entertaining for you. If you say, hey, this sounds still fun, hey, go for it. It's a good written story. Again, it's just a disclaimer, I personally was not the biggest fan of it. Another aspect that kind of did not sit well with me was the main character, the protagonist. He is kind of a wuss. He is always afraid of everything. He jumps to conclusions all the time and at some point literally pisses himself in fear, and this is kind of like, dude, it's not helping that he is completely afraid of everything in Equestria, and we as a reader know how Equestria works, so we know all his misinterpretations of the situation from the get-go, and are like, no dude, it's not like this, you don't have to be afraid, and then he gets punched again and hurt very horribly. But there are also aspects that make it interesting, because he has certain heroic features. He seems, besides all his wussiness, to have a brave heart and to be a little bit of a fighter, to be a really good-hearted character. He kind of reminds me of certain characters in anime that are a wuss most of the time and get beaten up all the time, but then when it comes heart to heart, they suddenly rise up and beat all the bad guys, something like this. And I kind of kept expecting some twist like this to happen at some point. But nevertheless, it kept me reading. It was interesting enough. The story starts out with the main character waking up with amnesia and being a pony, what he has not been before. Besides his amnesia, he remembers that he used to be a bipedal creature and not a pony. It is really interesting to see how he adapts to everything, and the story also addresses an aspect that gets often overlooked, the problem of adapting to your new body. He really has to learn from the beginning how to walk on 4 legs, and it's not like with Twilight and Equestria Girls where she has trouble for the first 3 steps to walk on 2 feet, and a few scenes later, which is in Universe, I believe the next day, she is able to perform a rather elaborate dance performance in the cafeteria. So they really address this completely new body and not knowing how to use it aspect. Kind of drags on a little bit too long for my taste, but it is an interesting approach that we are not just like, hey, I'm a pony now, but that's fine, I can do totally pony stuff. They really go into this, he is another creature in a pony body aspect. And this is an interesting thing. And also about this amnesia, from the very beginning, you get the feeling that something really drastic happens, that his transfer to Equestria and his transformation into a pony is a result of something big happening, and every now and then he is able to remember small pieces. The mystery really keeps you going, this adventure feeling it has. it helped me to stick along because this story had been recommended to me by multiple people and I decided to pick it up and I really wanted to read it completely so I can throw in my 2 bits. And besides the humor that didn't work for me and the main character that kind of made me butt clenching, it kept me reading, it kept me interested enough to go through until the very end. And I have to say, it really gets good and interesting towards the ending. As I said, it is a good written story under the aspect of writing. I simply did not enjoy certain aspects of the writing, but it's not bad. One thing I also wanted to address is the romance tag. Is it a shipfic? Nein. I mean, there is a certain level of romance, but it is definitively not a shipfic. It is not focused on relationships at all. There is a certain level of relationship, there is reasonable, understandable form of attraction and feeling close to each other. So it is really more an adventure or mystery story with a romance element. If you can't stand shipping, it should still be fine for you. So yeah, I guess after all, I would recommend giving it a try. And I just recently discovered that there are also 2 dramatic readings of the story on YouTube. I put the links to both into the description. They both seem to be rather okay. I haven't really checked them out. It probably comes down to which narrator sounds more pleasing to your ears. And since one of the dramatic readers actually also covers the sequel, yes, there's a sequel, I am probably going to check this out as well soon. Because, yeah, give me a story in form of a dramatic reading and I will check it out. I love dramatic readings. Did I mention this? This is the AnYPony saying see you soon.